In this video, I'm going to go over why most coaches fail to scale their business, and I'm going to tell you what it is that you need to do in order to consistently and predictably scale and grow and scale your coaching business to new highs in 2023. All right, so most coaches who utilize organic marketing, meaning that they post on socials, they post content, videos, reels, etc., all of that, and they also do outbound prospecting to potential customers of theirs, right? They aren't doing that in the right way, right? Majority of them, they just go out and they do go with the flow, right? That's what most coaches do, right? They create content that they think is good or that they think their audience would like to see. Every decision they make and all the content they make and the outbound systems they create is based on their own intuition and what they think will work, right? So it's based off emotions and not logic and actual data and numbers. And that is going to be very, very hard to grow and scale predictably, right? So when it comes to the outbound marketing, a lot of coaches leave so much money on the table, right? Because they don't know the metrics of the business. Like, they don't know where the next customer is coming from because they don't know how much effort it requires to acquire that customer, right? Without knowing that, you will not be able to grow the business predictably, right? When you know how many messages it takes to sign one client, that's when you can reverse engineer and actually start to grow the business and move the needle forward and take the required action to bring you to the outcome that you would like to get to, essentially. So what is it that you should be tracking, right? You need to track everything, right? Everything. If you don't know your numbers, how are you supposed to know what it is that you need to do in order to grow? Like, you simply can't. There's no way for you to know what it is that you need to do without actually having numbers to back that up. If you just go out by intuition and by your thoughts and feelings around specific things, then you could be changing something that's actually working, and you could be continuing to doing something that's actually not working. Because when we put a lot of time and effort into a thing, we get emotionally attached to that thing. We want that to work so bad that we can't see why it shouldn't work, right? And that's a dangerous thought when it comes to numbers and growth. In order to grow, we need to act upon what the numbers tells us, the data that we get, right? Otherwise, it would just be guesswork, right? And we cannot leave your business up to guesswork. Like, you deserve better. Your clients definitely deserve better. You as a coach, you provide life-changing service to whoever you are coaching. So you cannot afford to be guessing with your business so that you can't have the impact that you were meant to be. Like, the reason you started your coaching business was to have that impact. So if you leave that up to guesswork, then that's not fair upon anybody, okay? So the easiest way to do this is to create a tracking system that tracks everything, like all stages of your pipeline, from the initial touch point of the message to the closed deal, right? Messages sent, booking link sent, calls booked, closed deals, closing percentage, etc., etc. You should be tracking all of that. You should also be tracking your content. Like, how many people are you reaching through the content that you're doing? How many posts are you doing? And what about each post is actually working? Like, what is it about that post that made that post go viral and perform a lot better than the others, right? By doing this, you know what content works and therefore what you need to do to double down on. Like, what you need to double down on. If you know that, you can save so much time because you will only put your time and focus into strategies that are actually working. You would not be spending time on things that isn't going to work. You would not be spending those 2 hours creating that perfect scripted to that perfect YouTube video without knowing that it's going to work. Like, when you know what content is, you've been tracking it for a substantial amount of time, every single thing you will do afterwards until you see the change in the market, you will maximize the time that you're having, okay? So how do you track it? if you have a CRM, you will be able to track the conversations that you're having, at what stage your prospect is in your pipeline. And that's good, right? Don't get me wrong. Having a CRM in, for example, Close.io, Go High Level, you can use Trello even, or you can have Pipedrive. Like, all of these CRM systems are good, but they only track certain things. Like, it's not enough. It doesn't track everything that you want to track. So you need to complement it with something else. You need to have two systems separately if you're going to make organic marketing work. Because think about it, when you run ads, you get the dashboard, like the ads manager, that tracks everything for you automatically. Everything, like how much it costs you to acquire a specific amount of impressions, how much it costs you per lead, and how much it costs you to acquire a new customer. All of that is given to you within the dashboard of the ads manager. Organically, you're not provided with that. You don't get that. So you need to create it in order to make it work. The reason ads work so well is because it creates predictability and consistency, and it tells you what that is that you need to focus on, right? Organic marketing doesn't tell you that unless you create it a way to see it yourself, right? And that's what we're doing here. So we found the easiest way to do this, to create that separate thing combined with the CRM, is just to use Google Sheets, right? Like, you be able to track everything, like the percentages, like closing percentage, the conversion of a message sent and the message respond, how many people answered, how many people didn't answer you, etc., etc. And the sheet that we use at the moment is this one, right? So this allows us to track all of our posts, all of our likes that is getting in, the comments, the views, and the reach that we have on all these different platforms in each given month, right? And if you don't know this, you will not be able to scale. You will not be able to grow, right? And when you know this, like, you can just go into this spreadsheet. Imagine having hundreds of posts here. You can just go in and see, okay, which of these perform best, and then you can just find it. You can like go into your socials, find that post, and see, okay, what was special about it. If you're even clever, like, you can just add it in here. Instead of having hashtag used, you can just have what was specific about that post. And then later down the line, you can go in and see. Because if you are posting content every day for months in a row, you will not be able to remember what a certain post in February of last year did, like the results that gained you. Right? There's no way for you to remember that. So you need to see this. It also helps you if you are going to have promotions at certain times of year. If you track, for example, what type of content you're doing for Halloween, Christmas, summertime, etc., and the different promos you do, you can track the content that you're doing and see if it works. If it doesn't work, then you might have to switch it up next year for the same holiday season. If it did work, you can just reiterate and use the same strategy, right? But you wouldn't know that unless you were tracking. So this is the content. It allows us to track everything, so we know exactly what post is getting us the results that we need and how many posts we're getting for the results that we want. Okay, and the same thing with conversations. Like, we do the exact same thing for conversations. I'm gonna remove myself. So here, we just fill in here. We tell the platform and we tell them what status of the pipeline it is, right? If the first message has been sent but not answered, we put messaged, nurturing, link sent, appointment booked, not interested, closed, etc. And then we get the details here, all right? So you can see in January, one Facebook message has been sent for this example. And you can also see that it tracks here. So you can see one conversation has been started in total. It is labeled as message without an answer. So then it says no answers. If I put this as nurturing, meaning that there is an active conversation back and forth, it will be a conversation with one answered, right? So you can, and the percentage automatically updates. So you know exactly how many percent, like what percentage of answer rate that you have and no answer rate that you have, making it predictable and consistent and easy for you to replicate the success that you're having towards the goal that you want to achieve. Same thing if we switch it to link sent, so we can see, okay, so I've started one conversation, I've had one reply, and I have 100% link sent based on the conversations that I have. Okay, same thing with appointment booked. I have 100% booked call right now because of the conversations that's been tracked. And the same with closed deals, right? So now it actually won't show this because it hasn't registered any appointments, right? As in link sent. So if I go here, I create another one, YouTube for example, and then I do link sent, then let's see, I do appointment booked, then you will see that it tracks this, right? So then it will track it. But we get the closing percentage, right? And when you know the closing percentage, you know exactly how many conversations you need in order to get one customer. You can just reverse engineer it and say, okay, let's say it takes you 100 messages sent in order to sign one client at $1,000, and you want to hit the 10K month. Okay, I need to send 1,000 messages because then I get 10 clients at $1,000 each. That's 10,000. And it's a lot easier to wrap your head around, okay, how am I going to send 1,000 messages rather than, okay, how am I going to get to $10,000 a month? Right? It's a lot easier to work towards that specific amount of messages sent because there's an action that you can work towards, right? It's a number that you can work towards. Working towards $10,000 a month is a lot harder because there's a lot goes into $10,000 months. It leaves you more clueless in terms of, okay, what is it that I actually need to do in order to get to 10,000? Whereas when you know this, I just have to send 1,000 messages. That's it, because the numbers speaks for themselves, right? And if you want access to this, I have shared it in my Facebook group that will be linked in the description down below, that you can join this, and then you can get a copy of this spreadsheet for your own to track everything, to see the success that you can have, so that your business becomes in your hands, it becomes predictable, and you will make sure that you hit the financial goals that you actually want to hit, simply just by logging and tracking everything that you do. So if you want to have your own copy of this and don't want to spend time creating your own, then go down in the description, click the link to join the Facebook group, and then once you're in, it is there waiting for you to be used. You just go in, you make yourself a copy, and then voila, there you go, you're ready to start tracking. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the thumbs up, the like button, subscribe if you're new here, and I'll see you in the next videos.